If your fluorescent emergency lights, like this, or this, are starting to fail their test with a dim bulb, or likewise, you'll need to change the tubes. These are 8-watt T5 tubes. So on most of the exit boxes you have 2 screws. So you just unscrew them on each side. So I'll show you that in a minute. Just had to change my screwdriver because it was too small. I couldn't be bothered finding this, so I know I found it now. For some reason these aren't working. It's handy if you bring all your tools with you at once, otherwise you're going up and down. So I managed to force this open with a flathead screwdriver. See, that fits in perfectly. They are actually anti-tamper screws, these. And this is going to fall down, which is a bit of a nuisance because on a lot of them they slide to the side. But on this one, it's a bit older, so it doesn't. I'm going to regret doing this one-handed. Probably. But you can see I've taken that bar out and you slide down, and that's what the emergency lights look like on the inside. So there you've got your battery. I think these batteries are actually better than these new LED ones. Your fluorescent tube. So the black on each side, you need to change them, and then you see the wiring there. And yeah, that's just the charge indicator, which is very dim, but you can see it's on. You need to isolate the power, but I'm not going to fully isolate it because, you know what guys, I've always wondered why there's a bit of a glowing green when at night when it's dark and the legend is on. There's a green charge in the middle. I've just noticed the old fire exit sign glows in the dark behind, so that's why. Anyway, so I'm not fully turning it off because I'd have to disconnect the battery and I can't be bothered. So I'm just making it non-maintained by turning off the switch supply, but not the permanent, because if I do the permanent supply, it goes into emergency mode, so just dimmer when the lights would go off, it's just dimmer. So I'm not going to do that. You can work on it whilst it's live, but no point. Might be hot, depending on how long it's been on. This isn't too bad, so I'm just going to twist the sides, and that tube will come out. You see that tube there? This one here is no longer wired, so I can take it down to show you. Just hang it there. These are JSB bulkheads. These are actually really good design. Got a few of these in a few holes near me, and they look lovely. They're a nuisance to get off though. You've got to get your flathead screwdriver, and if you look, there's little gaps. This is from 2022. It wasn't made, and you just push your screwdriver, sorry you can't see, up in the little things. You will hear a loud click, and this comes out. This is the gear tray in here. Right, it's a long time since I've done this, but this is not actually how it's meant to do. What it's meant to happen is that's meant to stay in there, and now it's stuck in there. Obviously this is in the wall, that would stay in there. But this is actually an original tube that came with this one. I had this one about 5 years. But I just want to see what this tube is like in the other one. This is an original JSB. If you can see it, bulb. So let's pretend this is faulty because it's black at each end, and we're going to swap it for a new bulb just to show you how you change the bulb, because it's a shame that these are being ripped out when there is nothing wrong with them. So never touch the metal ends when you're working on these lights, and it should click into place. Turn on the switch supply, and you can see that lovely tube is lighting up. So for the purpose of this demonstration, if I just hold this into place. You can see what it looks like with the warm bulb in, because the other bulb is cool, like. In fact, it looks the same actually. It's just slightly warmer. Now in an emergency mode, this won't be so bright. So if I turn off the supply again, interestingly, that's gone now. I've turned off the switch supply. You can see it dims. And to be fair, in an emergency, this is what they were like at all the other schools. It looks fine on camera, but trust me, you can't see this at all. And if you're in a massive hall, this is no good. So yeah. Obviously now you'd screw that back up and put your bar in. And that is it. Most of these are the same, Phillips, etc. This is, you can see on the side, whatever, light safe.